Hello, everyone. Hello, Olaya. How are you? Welcome. And welcome to the other people that are watching on the other channel. Thank you guys so much for being here again this evening. Maybe it's morning for you guys, but good day to everyone. I am so happy and grateful that you guys are always here to encourage me. I just got up from taking a nap and I said, let me hurry up here. My voice might not be the best for right now, but it's going to get better. All right. Very important. Thank you guys so much for always being here to support all of us here in One Global Movement and to support children around the world. Thank you so much. You are the very first person here, yay, on YouTube. I know the others are coming. And so we're going to wait a little bit and then we start by playing our international music, the unpassive international music, okay? So, but thank you so much for being here. If you are new here, you are highly welcome. Olaya, you're highly welcome if you're new here. And we are here twice a week, no, twice a day, Monday through Friday, twice a day. So we come on at 1 p.m. Eastern Day Time and at 8 p.m. Eastern Day Time. And then every Friday is Friday special on O Connect. So every Friday is O Connect. But Monday through Thursday is on YouTube and Facebook and the other channels that are watching right now. So thank you so much. You're welcome into this family. We are here to help children, young people, and women, because when you help children and you help women, or when you help one child and you help one woman, automatically you have helped the entire world. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Let us continue to build this foundation following the mission of Mr. Ashmufara on Passive, so that we can reach every child in the world with clean, safe, and valuable tools that they can use to build on their hopes and their dreams, build generational wealth while living a life of leadership and purpose, and also use the same tools to eradicate hunger, eradicate illiteracy, and eradicate poverty and all other social challenges that face our children worldwide. So thank you so much for being here. I highly, highly appreciate you for being here among this family, One Global Movement that descended from Unpassive. Yes, One Global Movement has been here for close to 10 years. And thank God for Mr. Ashmufare and Unpassive. Things are going to get better for children. I will have more resources that I can reach out to every child in the world. Before, it was a hard struggle because I was working a lot, about 2 to 3 jobs, just so I can help children. But now with Unpassive, things are going to get better, especially with these artificial intelligence products that our children are going to be using, especially in Academy. Academy is very, very important to me. That's why we use Obless and one product for One Global Movement, but the other ones are also useful as well, like OJoy, OPlay, OCreate, OConnect, and the other media. All of them are very important because children in mind. That is why I so love it. So, because without education, our children will not be able to learn some. It's a continuous process. Like Malcolm X says, education is the passport into the future. That the future belongs today. So welcome, Harendra, welcome. So it is very, very important. And our CEO said about 2 weeks ago that education is key. Education is, but knowledge is very powerful. And there is nothing in this life that we can teach our children or anyone educating them, because like the popular saying goes that you teach a child, you give a child fish, without teaching that child, you're going to feed that child for life. And what is the guarantee that you're going to be there to feed the child for life? So but when you teach that child how to fish, you have taught that child for their entire life. Children, thank you. Oh, it better stay like this. We feed our babies, right? We feed our children. But if we don't start teaching them at a very young age how to welcome Nancy, if we don't start teaching them at a very young age how to do things for themselves, then we must not have loved and nurtured and raised these children in the best of ways. So whatever we do, we want to make sure that we are loving these children the way they're supposed to be loved. We are teaching them everything. Action is what children like. When they see you talking to them, teaching them by doing it yourself, children will learn very, very quick, and it will stick with them, because that is the way life is. Like you and I, if we come here, we're just talking, we're not doing the things that are right, that we say we're going to do, then we must have failed our children. And for me, that is not what I'm going to do. We're going to make sure that we help these children. And Nancy, how are you? I would like to ask you a question after the show, Nancy. If you can call me immediately, that would be good. Or I will call you if I remember. And my voice is not the best. I was taking a nap because, excuse me, since Saturday, excuse me, the walk in the community garden, I have not rested so well. So my voice is not the best, but we are here. And thank you guys so much. So we're going to start with playing some music here, okay? Because we need to relax. And music relaxes us, and music is food to our souls. So let us start with our unpassive international music as a tribute to Mr. Ashmufare and Unpassive for bringing this beautiful, beautiful world family together like never before, because we've not seen anything like this in the world. And when we continue to pay that tribute, with the help of Almighty God, God is going to give us a breakthrough. So let us start with our music, please. We are here. We are on the path, shining bright into the future. We rise high with one heart and revolution, lifting up humanity as we rise, standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn. We are the stars. Into it. Bringing hope shining their light. We're a nation, here we go, Nancy. The dancing queen. Bringing solution, lifting up humanity. Let's rise high, standing tall, hand in hand. We are the unicorn, we are the stars. To win it, to win it, to win it. We are in it to win it. We are so in it to win it. When we declare, when we prophesy, when we accept, when we believe, when we have the faith that great things are going to happen, God takes it. He touches the heartstrings of God and He takes it and begin to act on it that we put in. And here in One Global Movement, we are so in it to win it, just like in non-passive. Because when you win something for uplifting children in particular, humanity in general, you cannot help but succeed. And we're going to keep doing it until every child is reached, particularly the young ones that are going to be coming along, because now we get to help these children well, help them morally upright, help them with high ethical standards, just like Mr. Ash Mufara is doing. And not long, we will reach every child so that the world will never be the same. All the challenges that our children are going through, they will come out of it. And the new ones will not even have to, because we are here determined to take these high values, ethical standards through the products of Unpassive to the rest of the world so that the world will never be the same. The world will never be the same. When Mr. Ash Mufara says, we are going to be the correction to the corruption. It is not just financial corruption. It is not just institutional corruption. It is not just corruption from government like we think. It is even in our homes, in our own homes, because a lot of times some of us don't know how to talk to our children, how to raise these children. We don't know. And some of us, we don't know how to interact with them or even really get in the way our children's education go. We don't know because we don't know, right? So we can only give what we know. And because we are here determined and seeking to know the best in order to give the best to our children all over the world, then things are never going to be the same anymore with our children. We want children to be included. We want our children to have choices. We want our children to be able to ask questions. We want our children to use their natural talent. Oh my God, something is happening with my nose. Sorry. We want our children to use their natural talents without being questioned, without being pushed to the backwaters of life, or without being them that they, or without stereotyping them or calling them names, or without relegating them to the background to feel like they don't belong, or that they were born in a poor family. Can I tell you something? A lot of the good people that acquire their wealth truly through a high ethical standard with people in mind, they are the most happiest people in the world. All right. But those that did not acquire that wealth in the best way, they're not happy. And we are here because we have been given dominion over everything on the surface of the earth. And so when we acquire things using authentic means, using the right way, with the fear of God in mind, we cannot help but be happy and be prosperous. Just like Mr. Ashman Farah is doing, somebody who seeks out to uplift humanity from the heart, that wants to revamp the entire world, the way things are being done, that wants to revamp all sectors of the world, the educational sector, the agricultural sector, the political, social, every sector of the world, especially when it pertains to our children, is the best thing ever. And that's why we here in One Global Movement, we are so happy that we get to be part and parcel of this. Hello, Guyana, welcome. So we get to be the beneficiaries, and therefore we want to be able to excel. I am waiting for you guys that we are doing here, so we can support one another. Okay, we are here to grow together, because you cannot grow only by yourself. I always liken this to the African spirit of Ubuntu that says you are only human through the humanity of others. You are only human through the humanity of others. Without supporting One Global Movement, inspiring me, and really standing up for children, we will not be here together. So he put us together for a reason. And we have to go into the world and do the best that we can do. Who didn't hear about my weekend? Last Saturday, I started the community garden, and I garden there because gardening or community gardening is one way of bonding with the community. So we were there. You see us hoiling soil, more than 300 people. And I really extended On Passive and One Global Movement and what we are doing to a lot of people who really took the phone numbers and they are willing to enroll. And some of them, they already subscribe to One Global Movement. That is a great way, because if we don't share what we are doing, then we are keeping it only to ourselves. We will not be able to reach the billions of children that we want to reach in the world, right? So I enjoy the community garden. I still have pictures. I've been posting them. I'm sure a lot of you have seen them. It's great. It's really great. And this community garden is given to us by the Harvest Church, and it's free. The plots are really bigger. We have 3 big plots there. And I don't want to let this community garden go. I have half an acre here that I use to teach children and my students all over the world. But I want to still maintain the community garden, because when you come together as a community, just like we are coming together here, then we bond together. We begin to learn from one another. We learn about one another, and we can help better. So we are now in the Mindset Series number 61. And it says dominion. Dominion. Behold, I have given you authority and dominion. How can we help children understand this statement? Behold, First, it says dominion. Behold, I have given you authority and dominion. How can we help children understand this? You know, when we read these things, a lot of people just think that, oh, is the scripture, is the Bible. No, like I always say, I'm not a church goer. I was taught to understand that my first church is my family. My first church is the children of the world. My first church is women and children. Helping is the first church. And so, but everything that we do in life, it's in this greatest book of wisdom. That is the first book that I grew up reading, and I still read it up to today, because whatever thing we do in life, it is written in there. Good character, giving, nurturing, helping, being the good Samaritan, or doing all the good things. Look at Mr. Ash Mufareh. He built Unpassive based on those spiritual principles. Because when you build any foundation based on God, the one that created you and I, the one that gave us dominion over the surface of the earth, that we should take control, but do it in such a way that we do not hurt others. You will succeed no matter what. So, dominion. Behold, I have given you authority and dominion. How can we help children understand this? Or how can we even begin to help ourselves to understand this? This is very, very important. So, helping children understand the concept of authority and dominion in a way that's both meaningful and age appropriate can be a challenging but rewarding task. This means when we try to help our children to understand authority and dominion, sometimes it can be challenging. And children, even like us adults, we don't just understand things just once. We have to keep doing it. We have to keep reading it until we understand. What about children? It takes time. You know, I always compare to my son, because this is what I know. This is what I experience. I sometimes when I teach my son, he doesn't listen. And I felt that he wasn't listening. But later on, he will be doing exactly those things that I taught him. And I'm like, wow, it means this child was listening. He was playing and listening. And then sometimes he would say, but mommy, you taught me this. I said, but I thought you were not listening. And that is his own way. And so we need to teach our children. I'm just saying this to say that you might be teaching your child something and you think that they're not listening. They are listening. They are listening is when they see you doing that thing, not just talking about it. When they see you doing it, then before you know, they too will be doing that, because where else do children go? They copy from their parents, their caregivers, and the adults around them, from what they are doing, not just what they are saying. So this is very important. Action speaks louder than words. So, you know, dominion involves breaking down these complex ideas into smaller concepts, and using examples that resonate with children's everyday experiences. And then here are some suggestions. What is authority? In order to fully understand dominion, we have to understand what authority is. What does authority really mean, and what does dominion itself mean? Authority is the power or right to make decisions or lead. And this authority, where does it come from? It comes from the one who created us. It doesn't just come from anywhere. We were born with those things. Remember, before we were formed in our mother's womb, God has already written our future. And our future is one of dominion. Our future is one of happiness. Our future is one of prosperity. Our future is one of love. Our future is one of empathy. So, dominion is authority is the power or the right to make decisions or lead. And when we lead by example, true example, so that our children can see, and then they will imitate that, because children always copy from the parent. No child grows up to start gardening without learning from the parents. No child grows up to start hating somebody without learning from the parents or the adults and the caregivers around these children. And because we come from the biggest family in the world on Passive, we want to make sure that we are all on board to help these children around the world, because as we speak, lots and lots of children in the world are confused because of the circumstances surrounding them, not because they like to be that way. No. And so, while we already define authority, authority is a power or right to make decisions or to lead. You lead with confidence when you have that authority. You lead with empathy. You lead with positivity. You lead with the heart that is filled with gold, that I want the best out for everyone, especially our children. And then dominion means having control or responsibility over something. Try to use everyday examples to illustrate. We're going to try to use everyday example to illustrate this. Dominion, remember, in the scriptures say, like God says, I created you and given you dominion over the surface of the earth, that you utilize everything that I've created and put you in charge to the best way possible. Not to abuse it, but to use it well. Even our own bodies. Our bodies are the temple of the Lord. We have control, dominion over it, but we must use it the best way possible. Not to use it to hurt people, but to use it to uplift people, to use our mouth to say good things, positive things, use our hands to work, use every bit of our body, our entire being, to do something that is productive for all of humanity, right? So this is very important. Now, we are going to relate to familiar context or concept. Understand, children understand the idea of roles and responsibility in context like home, school, or play. Now, let us take, for instance, children understand the responsibility of their daily chores at home. When I was growing up, with my brothers, everybody, we knew our responsibilities. We know what we were in charge of, the authority over the things that were distributed to us as chores, daily chores to do by our parents. And so we had control and we lead in those aspects, And after every 2 weeks, they switch the roles so that we all learn how to do everything, how to cook, how to clean, how to do laundry, how to sweep, how to do every thing that is considered activities of daily living. So we learn how to do that. And me and my brothers, you will not tell, because we all cook, we all clean, we all do everybody's laundry, we do those things. So those are things of authority at home. What about school? In school, we have student leads, but in school, the number one thing is to take control of what you are listening, paying attention to what the teacher is teaching. That is our own authority there. We have to exercise authority, listening well. And when we are also playing, either with siblings or friends in the community, we want to be able to be responsible. We'll play responsibly, so that way we don't hurt people. I'm bringing this example because these are everyday examples that are so simple. Because when we understand, or we help our children to understand these daily activities of daily living that are so simple, because they are everyday things. We are doing them with our life without even knowing. Like here, if we do not take the leadership, the authority to come here to support these children, who else is going to do it? And that's why we are here. These are everyday responsibilities and leadership roles that we are playing without even knowing, because we have built ourselves so pure, so dedicated, and so determined that we are going to do these things. And here we are, and we are doing them, right? So we want to teach our children these things. So we can compare authority to a teacher who leads a classroom, or a parent who makes decisions for the family. That is authority. When our parents or our caregivers, they look at our environment and see how best they can help the children, what do? They now have to take control, and they make that decision to say, we are going to do this. But the best way to always do it is to get our children involved We discuss it with them. Of course, we are the adult. We're going to know that, okay, this thing is going to fit the child well. But in doing so, we are discussing with the child, no matter how young the child is, because that child is going to pick up on those things as you discuss it with them. We don't just impose things on children. We discuss things before doing those things. That is very important. So dominion can be likened to taking care of a pet or maintaining a garden. Dominion. You have to take control over the garden. You want to make sure that you're planting the seed, you're sowing your seed. Like I did last Saturday, I sowed some seeds of okra. We didn't plant everything as usual because it was raining too. So we're going to go back to plant. You plant your seeds, you admire it, you watch it grow. Sometimes you pray over it, you talk to it, and then you want to make sure that you are watering it. You're tending the soil and watering it to make sure that it grows. Not overwatering it. You water it according to the way that it is needed for that particular plant. And then you have to weed the garden. You have to weed it. If you don't weed it, the obnoxious weed is going to choke your plants and your plants will not do well. And when now the plants are ready, what do? You harvest. Harvest time is beautiful. You harvest, you eat with your family, you share with some people in your community that cannot do it for themselves. Maybe they're elderly or they're sick. We want to share, or sometimes we take it to churches. It doesn't have to be your church. You can take it to anywhere, or you can take it to the homeless shelters or somewhere, or to a neighbor that are unable to do it, or they don't even have a piece of land to do it. That's when you take it to them. And then, like children who want to keep pets, they have to have control. They have to have dominion over that pet. We want to make sure that they know that, first of all, before they buy a pet, they need to go take some lessons at the pet store. It doesn't take long. They'll teach them, this is how this pet is being taken care of. They learn that. They can take notes so that they don't they do the right thing for the pet, because it's a pet. A pet is a friend, right? It's a companion. We want to take good care of it. So now they learn how to do it, to feed it, to wash it, to make sure that the pet is clean. If it's a dog, you want to make sure that you walk with the dog all the time. You don't just restrain the dog for no reason. And when you're walking with the dog, you want to make sure that you have your gloves or some paper napkins and a bag, because when the dog poops, we need to clean that area, right? We can't just leave it. So that is taking total control, dominion over those kind of areas. And this is what the scripture says. I have given you dominion over the surface of the earth. Every living thing, I have given it you to control and to really take care of it, but do not destroy, right? And now we are learning all of these things all over again. And with this unpassive artificial intelligence, things are even going to be better, because we're going to have all these AI algorithms and chatbots and all those things that are going to direct us to do the right thing, which is very good, because as opposed to humans, we can't just do things straight, because we want to make sure that we will satisfy ourselves first, we satisfy others, or we pick and choose who to help and who not to help. But with all these algorithms and all this machine learning, they're not going to do that, because a human being is a human. They will serve you exactly the same way like they're serving the other person. Isn't that amazing? I love it. So when we explore responsibility, we want to explain that with authority and dominion comes responsibility, right? Like everything else in life. Now, we took the time to come here because we want to come together with Mr. Ashmafaro to change the future of the world, because the future is not the way it's supposed to be for every child. And so we want to come together with him to do that. In order to do that, for you to be able to dominate the entire world like the Creator gave it to us, and for us to have that authority, it comes responsibility. You cannot be in a position of leadership without being responsible. And good leadership it carries with it good tenets of responsibility, the tenet of determination, the tenet of of patience, the tenet of empathy, the tenet of high integrity, the tenet of love, the tenet of putting others first. As a good leader, you have to be able to fight, not physical fight. You go ahead to fight, and when you win, you go to the back and you let your people go to the front and enjoy. But when it is hard, you have to take that responsibility, like Mr. Ash Mufara is doing. They don't sleep. Him and the building team, they don't. They are doing tremendous work to help the entire world through us. And so leadership, authority, and dominion comes with responsibility. And it's not easy. Just like the scripture says that to him or her that much has been given, much, much more is required. We, the Unperceivians, we, the brand ambassadors, have been given so much by Unperceive, and therefore we owe the world great responsibility. We owe the world action. We need to help and help and help until we cannot help anymore, right? So this is what we are doing here, and thank God for that. So if someone has dominion over a garden, they must take care of the plants, right? Can't just leave your plants like that. Otherwise, how are you going to eat? What if the farmers and the gardeners were not taking care of their own garden? Would you be able to go and buy potatoes from the store? Would you be able to go and buy the cheese? Would you be able to go and buy meat? A lot of things. They took the time. They take responsibility to do those things. And now we get to buy in the case where we cannot garden, right? So everything comes with great responsibility. Now, if someone has dominion over a garden, they really must take care of it, because planting a seed, sowing a seed is life. You are planting life and light into the world. Because when somebody eats, you have helped to fuel them with energy, and now their eyes will pop out or have this vitality to go around and also help other people, right? So similarly, having authority in a classroom means making sure every student is treated fairly. That might not always be the case, especially with the global school system now, where some are included and some are excluded, which is what we are also fighting for here in One Global Movement. So we want to make sure that as a teacher that has the authority in class over the student, everything must be done fairly, making sure, because teachers are like parents as well, right? They're counselors, they're parents, they're caregivers. They want to make sure that every student is treated fairly. And so now we use biblical stories or parables to really illustrate this. If you are approaching this from a religious perspective, we use Bible stories to illustrate the concept of dominion and authority. For instance, let's take, for instance, in the garden of the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, right? I'm sure a lot of us know that story. So in the Garden of Eden, for example, authority, Adam and Eve were given authority from Almighty God to take control of the Garden of Eden and to eat everything that was in the Garden of Eden, but for one thing, they shouldn't touch. And that alone, they had control over that. Whatever then happened thereafter, it was a mistake. But guess what? God is a forgiving God. And so therefore, we all are to forgive others too for errors. So this is very important. And then encourage interaction. We have to create interactive activities that involve children taking on roles of authority or dominion. At home, like I said, we need to create like family lifestyle, family games together that will help these children to know that they are taking control and dominion over the things that are put under them. And this is going to help them a lot. It's also going to help them to uplift their spirit, help them to increase their self-worth and dignity and pride. It's also going to help them to give them that self-independence, and also to really make them know that, you know what, if others can do this, I can also do it, right? And before you know, children don't depend on people. They then depend on themselves after Almighty God, because we took the initiative to really show them and to practice what dominion and authority means. So this could be as simple as letting them lead a group, or the older one leading the younger ones, and the younger ones also leading the older ones at home, because we want to make sure that authority and dominion go both ways. Not only the elderly people can do that, but the younger ones can also do it. In so doing, we are teaching our children and showing them the way, and let them lead their own lives and also lead their future. So like activity groups, or assigning children a responsibility for small tasks. Small tasks. I started with my son when he was 4 years old. I wanted him to start learning how to do dishes, not just depending on the dishwasher. So I will put, because he loves water, even up to now, he swims like a fish. So I will put water in a tub, and then I put warm soapy water, and then I put the dishes in there. Oh, he will be there, say, "Mommy, look." He'll be so happy. But when they are doing that, they think it's fun, but they are learning at the same time. This is what we are talking about. These are simple things. We don't have to go out there to look for those things. That they are right here within us and around our own environment. But we just have to help our children to take control, to dominate their own environment, so that way they don't depend on others. They don't expect things from others. They have to do it themselves, so that they too can learn to give things to other people, right? That is very, very important. So simple tasks at home. And then we have to emphasize with dominion and authority comes stewardship and respect. We have to teach them stewardship and respect when it comes to dominion and responsibility. We have to stress that authority and dominion should be exercised with care, with kindness, with respect, with empathy, with putting yourself in the position of another person to see how it feels. If you do good to other people, you will be happy, right? So we have to really make sure that they are doing these things with fairness as well. We use example like the teacher again, who is kind and fair, or a pet owner who takes good care of their pets, right? We know that our children love pets. Like my son, he loves pets a lot. He loves the aquarium. You can tell because he's a spring baby. He was born in April. He loved the aquarium. He loves birds. He had a bird before, very beautiful bird with the sky blue color. So these are the things that will help our children to understand that. It helps them to understand authority isn't about power. Authority is not about power. Even though a lot of society has made it seem like authority is power, you want to be able to suppress some people. That is not what it is all about. Authority is not about power over others, but about responsible leadership. You see, Mr. Ash Mufara, he is the highest authority of Unpassive, right? But do you see him even trying to force people? You see him in his countenance, in his body language, in his words. These are words of responsibility. When he says, "It's a deed, I'm going to do it or I will die," these are words of responsibility, because he knows that if I don't do it, who else is going to do it? If I don't do it now, then when? If I don't do it to children of the world, then who is going to do it? And so he could have been just like some of the millionaires out there to say, "I have the power. I'm going to suppress you. Either you take it or you don't," right? So, but then he drops himself down to the level of being responsible, because he understands that true authority, true dominion comes with responsibility. And he is doing just that. And thank God that he becomes our CEO, and we get to really copy and do things just like him or even better, right? And this is what we are doing to teach our children to do things better. But we let them do it at the rate that we understand that they understand what they are doing. We shouldn't push them. We shouldn't force them. We shouldn't talk down on them, but we take that responsibly with respect, with fairness, and with empathy. And now, you know, we have to address questions and concern when you are placed in a position of to dominate or authority. We have to address questions and concerns because we sometimes it takes a lot of time before we get to understand something, right? We don't just understand it at first. So we have to be open to questions, even questions that can stink or maybe go against certain things that we don't want people to know. We still have to answer those questions. Remember, we are dealing with children. Children will ask and say the dandiest of things and ask the dandiest of questions because these children are innocent. They just ask, not like us that have been tinted. They just ask because they are curious. They want to know why things are the way they are. Have you ever seen a 3-year-old talking, just talking like they are this big boss and because that is just the way things appear to them, and they have been untainted. They can just speak freely. And when they ask us questions, we don't defend ourselves because when we don't answer those questions, we are automatically exposing our own insecurities. We want to defend something that we shouldn't even do. We just ask the question. That's why we have to discuss with our children. We don't just say things, you have to do this, you go and do this. We have to say, honey, can you help? Are you able to help to do this? Or did you finish your chores? And then you clap for them. You say, wow, you are very smart, because they are smart. We're not just saying it because they are smart, right? So this is so important that we are open to question and address them thoughtfully, not just talking because we want to get over it. Children may have concerns about what happens when authority is misused or when people don't respect their responsibilities. My son, one time I said, stop wasting water, because water in our area is a little bit expensive. And there I go. I wasn't doing what I told him not to do. And he said, Mommy, I think you're wasting water. You taught me not to waste water. Are you being a little, are you being a little hypocrite? And I laughed. I just laughed it off. But with some people, they get offended. And that shouldn't be the case. So welcome, Greg. How are you? So, we have to reinforce with storytelling in books. We don't just teach our children. We have to do it with books. We need to really build family libraries. We know that the internet is the order of the day, but we want to keep a family library of books and maybe even antique books for tomorrow, because these books can go both ways, and the ones that we are writing, we build our library. So there are many children books that focuses on themes of leadership, responsibility, dominion, and care for others. So many. We need to be reading these books like we read bedtime books with our children, right? We have to consider reading these stories that illustrate these concepts in action, really seeing them in action from one step to the other. I posted something on Facebook about a garden roll. Those are the kind of things that we want our children to read so that they know what we are doing from this step to this step to this step. This is very, very important for our children so that we are discussing the lessons learned through action. And by using these approaches, we can help children to really grasp and understand the idea of authority and dominion in a way that resonates, in a way that really applies with their level of understanding. And this will encourage them to see these concepts as opportunities for positive leadership and responsibility and stewardship. So that is very, very important. I decided to switch to another thing this week because the gardening lessons are not over. But I decided to switch because we want to spice up things, not just to go with one thing. We spice things up and then we go back again and we do some more, which is the way that we're supposed to be teaching our children. Just like the product that Mr. Ashmafara is building. Mr. Ashmafara is not just building one product. He understands, because one thing is it brings boredom to us. What about our children? So one thing, another. It really it doesn't, it's not fun. And so he builds this product. You see, Obless Academy, with with the child going to school without building a play station or something that they have to go out and play, or something that they can really get their hands painting and creating their own things that come to their mind. They want to create, they want to really paint that picture. It is studies is going to be boring. So that's why I switched and I said we will come back to this one again. And so this week we will do, the next week is still the planting season. We will bring back those gardening lessons because we want to exhaust everything, because without gardening, without farming, guess what? We can eat. We need to learn that. And of course, hopefully also learn how to plant. And you don't have to be in the yard or in the community. You can just do it. We can plant it in little pots, right? Just learn it. You admire life. That is nature. When you do that, that is life. You are also contributing to the upkeep of the environment, to good oxygen, photosynthesis, carbon monoxide. We want to eliminate that by planting. Let the vegetation be green. And then you're also bonding with the soil. I took off my gloves in the garden and I was there with the soil, because sometimes you just have to knead the soil in between your hands. That is something that happens when you bond with the soil or walk bare feet. You know, this is very, very important. But you need to be careful where you're walking so that something does not poke your feet, right? So we take care of that for our children as well. All right. Thank you guys so much. I have Olaya Gaffa. Thank you so much for being here today. If you're new, you're welcome here. Thank you so much. We have Harendra Kumar. Thank you so much for being here. And you guys don't forget to put the big thumbs up, okay? I know that Nancy is going to be reminding you guys too. Don't forget to put the big thumbs up. And if you've not subscribed to One Global Movement, please do so. And when you check on the flyer, there is a place for you to join our WhatsApp One Global Movement group. I am trying to fix our One Global Movement group in ONET. I have not been able to erase the club that I created. In the excitement of creating clubs, I was just creating. I was happy that I can do that. But now I realized that that was not the best thing to do. So I want to erase that, and then I do just one global movement club, and the other topics like a reading club, like writing club, like a speakers club, like antique club, like a friendship club, and girls' night out or boys' night. All those things will be subcategories under One Global Movement, so that we can continue to maintain these concepts and let our children come together and do things for themselves, right? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Then thank you, Nancy, so much for everything that you're doing. Thank you. And of course, she's the dancing queen of One Global Movement. Like you can see, every day she's she's ready with her shoes, and she is just flying around. Thank you. And she's welcoming everyone to hashtag One Global Movement. Thank you for cheering us on. And hello, our brother Guyana. Thank you so much for being here this evening. We will wait to have you on here, okay? Everybody has the power, the authority, and dominion to dominate the stage of One Global Movement. It's not just for one person, because when we are talking about all inclusion and variety for children, this is exactly what we are talking about here. Everybody can talk here, everybody can contribute, but so long as we are doing it for raising children, that is the best thing, not for advertising ourselves or any other thing. We want to do that for children. We want to keep it pure, just like the product that Mr. Ash Mufara is building. They are pure, they are safe, they have value. This is exactly what we are also doing here. So thank you so much. And he says, hi, ma'am. Good evening to you all from Brooklyn, New York. Be happy. Take care. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Nancy says, my family weekend, everyone needs to be in the kitchen, boys or girls, to do hands-on eat. Was fun. Yes. This is what we are talking about. Have you seen how children are happy when they cook? I called my brother, our last sibling. Today's what, Monday. I called him yesterday. And he said he was cooking. I said, why are you cooking late? He said, the daughter wants to eat a certain meal, which is one of the delicacies in Cameroon. And I said, that's good. I'm so happy the way you're raising your daughter. And that's my little brother. He's in his early 30s, and he was doing that. He's a very responsible father, and I was so happy to hear that. You see, Nancy, good job. Good job. This is what we want with our children. And sometimes we let them make the list and choose the kind of dish that they want to cook, and then they will lead the cooking, and making sure that they are cooking with cleanliness, washing everything, making sure that everything is in order, right? So that tomorrow they don't have to depend on people or depend on fast food that is not so healthy for their little bodies, right? Yeah, thank you so much for doing that. And get responsibility of taking care of chicken or a horse. It's amazing to be in power. I love it. I love horses. I love riding a horse. I can't wait until I will have my own place again, that I can have my own animals and chickens and goats and cows. That's what I'm looking for. I love it because I grew up with those things. I really love it. Growing in the countryside is fun. And Study Campos, fantastic, brilliant commentary. Thank you so much. If you're new here, what is your name? We'd like to know you by name so that our children can also know, right? We need to bring our names here because we want these children to know us by name. So, but thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Come again and also share the good news of One Global Movement to all families and children in the world. And the hashtag Ashmufare. I love that. Hashtag on passive, hashtag Dr. Mundih, hashtag One Global Movement, hashtag start giving our children responsibility. That is it. We need to not make them, we need to help them to be responsible, right? Thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you. And welcome to all my queens and kings to hashtag One Global Movement, where we have enough love to share. We truly have enough love to share, right? Thank you so very much. And hello, Greg. Our son is here. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. And we have Emmanuel Jody. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Wow. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time, you are in the right place because we are here for children and families worldwide. We are building a foundation that is going to take up to help our children. It might be slow now, but when those apples start coming, not just from Unpassive, from other sources that we are building, then we will begin to go into the world. We will establish schools. We have buildings that we have these computers and other things, this high technology for kids to do their work. The best kind of education from Academy, where we focus on the individual child to make sure that they understand their concept, not just to write an exam and pass. They understand what they are doing, where the form of evaluation for the success of student is no longer just taking an exam. It's action, practical work. This is what we are doing here, and I can't just wait. So thank you so much for being with us here, Emmanuel Jody. Thank you. We appreciate you. And please don't forget to press the big thumbs up, and then subscribe and share with family and friends. Yes, Nancy. I knew you were going to do that. That's Emma J. Okay, Emma J. Okay, Emma, how are you? I saw Greg, isn't it? Oh, it's Emma today. Okay. Either one, we love you guys. We welcome you here and come again. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again at 1 p.m. Eastern Daytime. And I always like to remind all of us, including myself, that we must stay focused. Let us stay focused. We stay encouraged. We stay empowered, and always believe in endless possibilities, because we are in a world of endless possibilities. We have to be able to open our mind's eye, not just our eyesight. We don't see just only with our eyesight, our mind's sight, the inner core of us, to see the greatness and the abundance and the possibilities that God has given us. And we are here because of one endless possibilities on passive and Mr. Ashton Farah. So thank you guys so much. I will see you all tomorrow and I love you all. Bye bye.